Dillian Whyte TV.
Yes, sir.
It's been a very long time.
I know Mike's been lazy. I've been trying to get Mike to do stuff for the channel, but Mike's just been... There's been a few things going on, man. Just waiting for the moments to arrive. Is that arrive or wait? I don't know.
Yeah, we can stick with arrive. First thing we're going to do is a few fights coming up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of these fights coming up.
Yep, tell me. This is something new for the channel. You just speak my interest. You should prep me before you ask these things, but go on.
No.
I could have done my research. What do you want me to take a mug? No,
I say a man's name, like, who's that?
I'm a boxing guy anyway, so I'm always done the boxing. So
I think the first kind of intriguing matchup, Callum Smith, 26-0, 19 KOs. versus John Ryder, 28 wins, 16 KOs and 4 losses.
You know what? Firstly, I think it's a good fight. A lot of people is putting their nose up against the fight, but I personally think it's a good fight, and I personally think John Ryder deserves his chance because he moved up to super middleweight and he won every fight since he moved up.
His last 4 fights has ended in a KO or TKO.
Yeah, I think he earned the fight, but Callum Smith, it's hard to bet against him, obviously the Smith brothers, all 4 of them is good fighters. 2 of them been world champion. Paul fought for 2 or 3 world title and put up a good fight. I'm good friends with them, especially Paul Smith. I think Stephen came up just short of a world title. What's the other one's name again? What's the other one's name? Liam. Yeah, Liam's world champion as well, so there's so much experience between all of them as brothers. Imagine being one of the brothers, man, And but yeah, I think it's a very good fight. I think both men can punch, but it's hard to bet against Callum Smith. Only thing I don't like about Callum Smith is his level of inactivity. Ryder's been fighting, he's been active, but he even fought no one of the level, caliber Callum Smith is fought. Look at the people he defeated in the Super 6.
Yeah.
Even
to be honest, the way he destroyed George Groves, I don't think many.
I think George, he did, that fight's a funny one, that fight's a very, very funny one, but I think he's just going to be hard to beat. He's 6'4" at super middleweight, and he can punch. He's a very upright, very patient, basic boxer. He does the basics very well, and he's got a very good punch throw on his style. That's a recipe for disaster. So
for that fight, we're going with Callum Smith?
Well, definitely, my money's on Callum Smith, but I would not write John Ryder off because with a lot of... I just hope that he does make the occasion get to him, because that can happen. You think, I'm fighting Callum Smith, You just got to think, you know what? It's another fight. I'm going to go in there and do my thing, but John Ryder can punch, and he's tough, and he's awkward as well because he fights quite... It's kind of stuck at the way he fights, kind of like stocky and a bit, a bit. He's awkward as well. I think Callum Smith will win, but I think he'll cause Callum Smith a few problems early. But I think Callum Smith will stop him probably around 7-8 rounds, something like that. I think Callum Smith will definitely stop him, but I think it's gonna be a much better fight than what people think. I think personally.
Yeah. On the undercard, we've got another interesting fight: Craig Glover versus Chris Smith.
Well, I'm more interested in that fight than the main event because as a manager, that fight means a lot to me because Chris Smith, someone who Rich has beaten before, is fighting for the Conroe title against Craig Glover, someone who actually wanted Richard to fight. So, Richard is going to fight for the British title coming up in December and then hopefully face the winner in the new year for the British Conroe title on the line. So, I'm very interested in that fight. I think it's a great fight. Craig Glover is a big puncher. Chris Smith's a tough guy. He can box and he's very capable and he's a world school amateur. So I think, and I'm sure Chris would love to get a rematch on Richard if he win, but he got a very hard task in front of him because Glover, he's got a very good left uppercut and a very good left hook, and he throws it in a very sneaky way. And I think Dillian Smith is put it this way. He's not shy to get hit. He's not shy to take 1 or 2 to get his one off.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the style he should employ in this fight. I think he should use his superior boxing skills and ability that we all know he have and we all know he's capable of doing.
So, say Chris wins, how do you think that rematch goes with Richard? Do you think the same result?
I think Richard knocks him out this time. He should have knocked him out last time, but, you know, I think Richard does lack a bit of experience. You know, sometimes I think he takes a while to get going, you know. But I think Richard knocks him out next time. And it'd be a great fight. It'd be a bigger fight. That's another main event next gen, you know. It's just, you know, hopefully Dillian Smith win. I ain't got nothing against Craig Glover, but just from a business point, you know, it makes a bigger fight.
Yeah.
You know. But then saying that, if Craig Glover wins, he says a big fight in Liverpool or in London at the O2 for both men.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, whichever win, it's good business for me as a manager anyway.
And then obviously Richard Riakporhe for the British title, December. How do we see that going?
Listen, Richard, you know one thing, Richard, he can box and he can punch. I think he's going to knock Jack Massey out. Jack Massey is a good fighter. He's awkward. He's trained by a friend of mine as well. You know, so, you know, he's been down a spar, Jack. He's a good fighter, very good fighter, very tricky. You know, he can punch, he got good movement, you know. But I think at the time he was preparing for Alonso Coley and I could see his doubts in his mind, like he wasn't really. So I think, and he sparred Richard as well. So I think Richard pick up on those as well. And I just think Richard's just too big and too strong. And if Richard's head's right, which it will be, you know, I've been easing up with his spar and we've been training together and stuff. And he's looking good and he's improved. And he's learned a lot as well, you know what I mean? I sparred him. When did I spar him? Friday, I think I sparred him. And with many sparred 10 rounds, and it was good. He was moving nice. He was using his movement. He was being very patient. He was picking his punches. So, yeah.
Across the pond, we've got, I've written Deborah Wilder. Deborah Wilder.
What are you thinking? Deborah Wilder?
I don't know.
Who's that? Deborah Wilder? No, these dudes know what is that name.
We got Luis Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder. Repeat or
I think it's a good
revenge?
fight. I think Deontay Wilder's going to do Luis Ortiz much easier this time. I think Luis Ortiz's age, he says he's 40, but everyone knows he's older than that. You know, it's common knowledge. And secondly, I just think Wilder knows he's going to gas. You know, Wilder knows he's going to gas. And I just think after surviving the onslaught Wilder survived last time, I just think he'll be a lot more confident and he'll believe a lot more in his punch power and his ability also to take a shot against someone. And also, the three people you can name in Luis Ortiz's record is Malik Scott, Brian Jennings, and Deontay Wilder. And Malik Scott washed up when he fought him. Jennings, you know, fought, was it 5 years ago? Or something like that. And then he lost to Deontay Wilder. You know, so he's not as dangerous as what everyone makes. If he was that dangerous and he was that much of a skillful heavyweight this and the other, he'd have been a world champion by now.
Yeah.
And he would not have turned the Anthony Joshua fight down as well. You know. As can't tell him he's a fake bogeyman, Joshua don't want to fight him, and when Joshua offered him the fight, he said no. Why is that? These guys aren't serious. You know, me, have gum shoulder will travel. They call me up and say there's a fight. I say, yeah, let's get it, man.
You got Anthony Joshua, Femi versus Andy Ruiz.
Why do you have to get Femi in there? Is that African thing?
Yeah, well,
Just out of curiosity.
just bigging up the Niger blood.
Okay, each of their own. I ain't got a problem with that. I respect everyone. I respect, I'm probably more Nigerian than you to be in this spot. When last did you eat some Nigerian food?
That's on the weekend.
You're a liar.
Definitely.
You're a liar. You came with me another Sunday roast on the weekend. You're a liar. You're a liar.
We had the pork chops together.
No. No.
I found out I got an uncle called Carlton White.
Mike,
So
no.
it might turn out that we're cousins.
You're a typical family, yes. You have.
That's
No.
I'm coming for the check.
No.
We might be family. I'm going to investigate this further.
No. You don't need to investigate. That's he's probably just a step kid or something. Someone probably adapted him or something.
No,
you know
man.
what I mean? No.
We're going to investigate
We're
this
not
further.
family. No. If we're a family, I'll never speak to you again. So if you find out, don't tell me. But yeah, Anthony Joshua and Ruiz. I think it's a great fight. Just like the first one was, everyone was overlooking Andy Ruiz in the first fight. Even I thought Joshua was going to knock Ruiz out in 6 rounds because Ruiz is, we know how good he was, but he's always been like a naily guy sort of thing, you know what I mean? Like you know, he's good enough, but he haven't really pushed through. And the fact that he took the fight in 5 weeks notice and stuff, and Joshua been training, and he looked big and he looked strong, you know what I mean? And he's coming for good form of beating good people. So I was like, okay, I thought Joshua was going to do him in 6 rounds, but he came and he shocked everyone. There's some people now said, oh yeah, I said Andy Ruiz was going to win. No, everyone wrote him off. He done well, but also Joshua's behaviour and attitude was very strange in the build-up to the fight. His mindset and his behaviour and attitude was very strange in the build-up of the fight. It was very strange, you know. When he was chewing away at his gum shield, it was he looked really nervous, really unsure, and he's never like that as a person. He's always quite
confident.
Yeah, he's very confident. He's quite forceful, and he comes out and he imposes himself and his opponent. And it's just in the Ruiz fight, it was like he was stuck between two styles. He was boxing as he normally boxed with his hands up, and then another time he was boxing with his hands down. He was moving around. He just looked like he lacked confidence. He looked like something happened in training camp. There's all these speculations that he got knocked down, this happened, that happened. You never know. Only him and his team really knows what happened and what went down. But you know, the great thing is he have a chance to put everything that was wrong right in his next fight that's coming up in what, 2 weeks and a bit.
Do you think that he wins that one?
Listen, he's British, he's my competitor and he's my rival. I'm going to back him, man. I hopefully win. I want him to win, you know. It's good for British boxing. I mean, he's done a lot for British boxing. He's unified the division and all that. A lot of people say, oh yeah, this and the other. But listen, he's a young man just like me. He's doing well. He's doing his thing. Hopefully he does win. You know, like I said, I'll back any British fight against any fight in the world apart from a Jamaican or an Irish. That's it. That's the only 2 people I won't back him against. You know, I think he should just do what he normally does, but just work on his jab a bit more. He doesn't need to go out there and start trying to move and trying to do this, and he's never done it before. Yeah. And I think if he does it, it will gas. And being on the back foot, Josh is not a good back foot fighter, and he's a come forward fighter, and he's quite forceful, and his power and his size is what, and his physical condition is what usually wear a lot of these guys down. You know. Go on.
Next, we got Jamal Charlo versus Dennis Hogan.
You know what? Jamal is in form. You know, he's in form. He ain't put a foot wrong, and he's getting better and better, and he's getting stronger and stronger, and he's a good fighter. I just think there's only a few guys out there can give these guys problems, and these guys they're in the prime, and they got a lot of they're extremely confident at the minute. I can't see. You know, that Hogan guy, I don't know who he is. I never heard of him. I've seen him before. So I can't really say much on him, how good he is. But I just think the Charlo brothers are good fighters. And I think they're still getting better. They're young enough to still improve, and so a lot more to come as well.
This one's more of a potential matchup. Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. So first, obviously, recently we just had Canelo versus Kovalev. How do you feel that went?
I think Kovalev boxed well. He was outboxing him, and he was picking him apart with a jab, like which he's been doing a lot in his fights. Anybody McGregor, he's been using his jab a lot in the last couple of fights. He's been using his jab a lot and jabbing well. But Canelo does what he does best. He was very patient. You know what I mean? He took his time. He walked him down and kept him pressing and kept on slipping. And it was like the whole fight. It was like he was looking for the one big punch, and then being patient, being persistent, and being consistent, he ended up breaking Kovalev down and landed the big punch, and Kovalev couldn't cope. But Kovalev looked kind of weight drained and looked kind of skinny. I heard there was rehydration clause in the contract as well, that he couldn't rehydrate to a certain amount of weight after, which is nonsense. I don't understand, because Canelo is a superstar, but Kovalev is the world champion. As a world champion going to a fight like that, you should have put your foot down and said, listen, I am the world champion. If we're going to have this fight, this needs to happen, that needs to happen. You know? So he's got only himself to blame if he didn't rehydrate properly. But he made a hell of a lot of money though. He's good.
So how do you see that going, Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders, if that can be made?
You know, a lot of people say judge Billy Joe Saunders in his last performance, but me personally, I believe jet lag was a problem. I don't think he went to America long enough. For a fight like that, you defend your world title, you need to go to America for at least 4 to 5 weeks. I don't know what happened in the build-up and whatever. I don't know what happened, but I think Billy Joe Saunders way better than the one that fought weekend. For whatever, they said he was sick, he was jet lagged, this and the other. We'll never know. But I know Billy Joe Saunders is a good fight. If there's anyone that's going to give Canelo any problem, it's Billy Joe Saunders because of his speed. If the Billy Joe Saunders a box and Andy Lee, if that Billy Joe Saunders turn up against Canelo, he'll give Canelo all sorts of problems. And once again, he's British, he's a friend of mine, and I'm always going to back him, you know what I mean? 3 fact that he's a good fighter, he's 2-weight world champion, he's a mate of mine, and he's British. So I'm definitely going to back him, you know what I mean? Definitely going to back him. It's a hard fight. You know, it's hard to go against Canelo because how good he is and how consistent he is and how long he's been. You see, you got to judge his fighters and how long he's been on top. Yeah. And how many years he's been on top, you know what I mean? But I back Billy Joe Saunders. I think if he gets his head right, he takes it properly, and he goes to America and have a proper camp, and he shows up properly and he have no issues, I think he can beat him. I think he's got the style and the slickness and the skill to outbox Canelo.
Yeah.
You know, Canelo is good and he's strong, but I just think Billy Joe Saunders maybe being middleweight might help him with it. But Billy Joe should fight him at super middle. You know, because Billy Joe's carried his speed up from light middle to super middle.
Yeah.
You know. But a lot of people is probably going to watch this and say, oh yeah, but if Canelo hits him, he's going to knock him out, whatever. But it's hard to knock out something that you can't hit. When Billy's on farm and he's doing his thing, it's hard to hit. Yeah. You know. So
if you had to choose a winner?
I choose Billy Joe Saunders. I always back any British fight against anyone else, man. Even if it's someone I really hate, you know, because in this country, everyone likes to bring everyone down, like to run everyone down, but support the people, support the fighters that's around, that's repping the country and doing something positive and bringing light into British boxing, you know? They'll easily support some American that they don't know over the British fighter that they know and see on a daily, a weekly, a monthly basis or whatever, someone who they can actually, you know what I mean, get some sort of interaction with, you know. I'm not about that.
Nice. So I think we're going to wrap it up there. Dillian Whyte.
I'm going to wrap you up right here after this is finished.
No, we're going training. So
no, you came late. I'm wrapping you up right here. You're not making it to the gym.
Okay, no
worries. You're getting wrapped up.
Mum, if you don't see me again, you know where I was.
Man said, Mum. Mate.
Dillian Whyte TV. That was our little fight predictions. Gonna hear about the post predictions, or can't be a prediction anymore, is it? Post analysis afterwards. Yeah. So yeah, Dillian Whyte TV. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace.
Boom.